Saturday session of the Global Scholars and Leaders Support Program. This is a program that is actually initiated to connect the established scholars, professionals, and experts around the world to the new generation of scholars and leaders and the early career people that want to actually learn from the experiences and their stories along their career paths. And it has been a very wonderful experience. We have hosted over 50 scholars and leaders around the world on this very session. And this is the 21st session in this year, 2024, which means that we have not missed a single Saturday since we started this very program. And we are here today with another new faces of scholars and leaders around the world. And that is from Saudi Arabia and also from Kenya, a person of Dr. Mohammed, and also a person of Mr. Caroline. We are very happy to have you, and we are very grateful for the interest you have shown in this very platform. And like I normally say, the whole idea is that if we have a leader, or if we have leaders that are not scholars, they won't be able to solve societal problems because all what they will cling to is power. And the power without the knowledge of how to diagnose issues and how to solve them, it's going to create chaos in the society. Likewise, when we have scholars that are not leaders, they will be full of knowledge but no application because they won't be able to connect to the people. And that's the reason why we have blended the name as the scholars and leaders, so that we can have a balanced thought when we want to contribute in solving the societal problems. And so far, we have been receiving amazing personalities that can combine the two perspectives of orientation together. They are scholars and they are leaders because they are proving in their track records that, yes, this is the way they have gone so far in dealing with different issues that they have encountered along their career path. So I welcome you very sincerely, Dr. Mohammed.
Thank you very much.
And I welcome you very sincerely, Mr. Carolia.
Thank you, Dr.
Like we normally do, we normally have the first round of 3 minutes to 5 minutes introduction. And the next thing is to present our ideas about the global sustainability issues, leadership, or scholarship. It can be an extended discussion. It can be a very interactive discussion. And at the end of the day, we are going to wrap it up with a kind of a remark that is going to inspire the new generation to know where to start, to know where to go, and also to know how to navigate through different phases of life and career. And let me start with Dr. Mohammed. We are very pleased once again to meet you.
Thank you very much. Well,
yes, let us hear briefly from you. How did it start?
Thank you very much, Dr. Sahid. Actually, I've been joined the KSU since 2012 as a scholarship student. So during that time, the selection process and the visa, we are talking about our seniors over there that it's present. So sometimes it's headache and hard working process, but we're trying and to resolve the issues. Later on, we also consider ourselves that we are making a group and we finalize the things and for our juniors to overcome these issues that they are facing to getting the visa and the scholarships. But with the passage of time, if we are talking about the scholarships and the other things that we have, and it's a really a painful and sometimes it's smooth, but sometimes it's good. But after that, when we join the university, over there, it's a very, very good environment that we are receiving from the administrations and the other things. The if we are focused specifically on the research projects, so in that case, we are facing some type of funding issues and some because every department have its specific responsibilities and duties and the the resources and the facilities. But in that case, we are not getting the access for each and everything because we need the permissions from each and department to do the research and other work. So during this journey, but our lab also is very equipped with the high tech lab because we are working with the genome sequencing and the other thing. So in that case, we are very much linked with the above and below labs as well as the research team. So we are not getting any such problems for the financial issues for the funding and later on if we because we have different projects that we are waiting from different funding bodies from Saudi Arabia to completion the projects, and we have many number of projects that is working side by side within these 10 years back. So lastly, if we are talking about to me, that I am a plant biologist and working the gene expression with respect to the abiotic stresses and environmental stresses like salinity, drought, and the heat stress. And after that, biodiversity analysis, structure analysis, and bioinformatics that we are using to accomplish the projects. This is our main uh, goals and objectives of the groups because from very beginning, from start from the field trials and towards the lab trials, so we are familiar with each level of issues and problems and to resolve these issues. And after that, we have different type of workshops, conferences, and the meetings with the stakeholders, even with the ministries to talk about the problems and the importance of that specific resources as well as the equipments as well as sorry for that. So in that case, we finished up with number of projects with the private as well as specifically the government research centers funded by to our lab. So this is the whole scenario, and if and but if I'm talking about the problems, so everywhere you have some type of restrictions and the other things that you can if we focus on the boundary specific boundary that you cannot limit that so it's not anymore. So I think so. I hope that I delivered my first conversations that if you have any other questions related to this, so please mention, so I will speak specifically for that.
Yes, thank you. Thank you so much for that very elaborate dig into the career professional experience so far, and what are the issues that you have actually encountered and how you have been able to navigate. Thank you so much for that very wonderful shared experience. Yeah, we are still coming back to actually look at the sustainability issues that you have identified and some other solutions that you have been able to work on with the private companies, private sectors, the public sector, and also from your lab. We are still coming to that. Let me go to Mr. Caroline. Yes.
Thank you, Doctor.
Yes.
Carol is a bona fide from Kenya. Came up from a humble background, started from a community school. Education became hard a bit because no one was there to pay. Until the community of Catholicism picked me to join Father Shepherd Boys in primary, where I met some Tanzanian bishop who later on took me to Uganda. I can say that from the seminary I could not manage paying, and I had to start hustling to see I can raise my payment, going to market, hawking and all that. So until when I went to Uganda in 2006, that's when I met some teachers who introduced me to the Association of Student Body in Uganda, formed by Apollo Minton. And that association, I can say I'm the first foreigner to be a chairman of it in the history. Because in this association, once you are there, you attend leadership, organize workshops, and there are some funds. So if you don't be victim of what they don't want, then they take in the responsibility for paying for you. But you must work to ensure that all students are not found and to realize their problems before they're being chased out of school. I became the chairman of a school that helped me pay. I later became, when I was in A level, again chairman. Then I was sent to district as a chairman, became a regional chairman. All what we were doing was to organize workshops for the government and all students in Uganda under UNSA, the Uganda National Student Association body, funded by USAID those days. Then 2009, I completed my 2011, I joined university, Christian University Mkono, and by grace and through the leadership that made me to join, because still that training in leadership and empowerment that we are keeping doing, what made me to achieve that. So when I joined campus, being an international university, we met with different groups and Anglican body, and that's when we formed the inter-university that were championing the integration of East Africa community 2012. And I really participated so much in that, championed, made challenges, because I was doing that voluntarily to get fee and achieve my education. University, I attended Bachelor of Arts with Education, Language, Literature, and was specializing in public relations strategy. I did divinity as well, a diploma and other short courses. So during that time, under interaction and all that, 2013, when Bududa Falls happened in Uganda, still I was in Uganda, ventured so much into leadership, joined even Ugandan politics as a student, but the main politics to see how we can survive. And all this, we are trying to see what are the challenges that people are meeting. During that time, I realized that the young mothers, the single mothers, people are suffering out there, and this came as a result of the method of governance that is not favoring people. Because you go in villages, the government is giving this version, but in the real sense, things which are happening here is different. How can we bring these people on board? So I ventured into it and started looking for solution. But as you know, all these things need partnership. You could not do it alone. So until in 2016, after graduation, when I went now to Tanzania, after the formation of Aware Tanzania, as youth, we are trying to see how can we bring the youth together, how can we create partnership, and then make this youth understand what can we do without even relying on others. But still, we are failing because we were lacking these people. Yes, you have skills, you understand the problem with these people. How can you go about it? But who can I help? So we mobilize ourselves and keep on moving door to door, trying to help these people. So 2017 came back to Kenya, joined once in a Luo Chier and form an arbitration firm that as an activist. So there we realized problems were still there, challenges were there, but we keep on trying to come up and help people, meeting these women, but still we are, the mode of how to do this thing, you don't have the capacity. So after this, we kept on going, bringing people together. Then I joined also the oil and gas Ologedi because of the variation from Nigeria, trying to see how can we looking just what we can do together to transform, because the major problem we are facing in Africa, the problem in Kenya is the same problem in Nigeria. Poverty is the problem. But we are not poor because we want. We are poor because there's a problem. And this is why politicians are taking advantage of this to use us every after 5 years, leaving us still. So we keep on telling them, no, we need to get skills so that we don't allow need a team and then it need a brief, that is the small number. We're supposed not to pretend we can start with 1,000. We start with 10, 50, and then we tell them how best can we do. We are talking about sustainability. How can we sustain ourselves? So all this, then later on in the last election, 2022, because of what we've been trying to do, I managed to vie. Actually, currently I'm a politician in Kenya, though I didn't go through because of the challenges. But I'm made to be the Deputy General Secretary of Justice and Freedom Party Kenya, nationwide, because of my aim as a party. We are trying to see these problems. How can we make these people see their problems? And that's what I've been propelling in, trying. Those challenges are there because we don't have much, but we see the problem. We have the solutions. So we really just need people that we can partner with, back up, to structure everything. And then we come out and we curb this problem that the politicians are using, giving bad leadership. Back to you.
Wow. Thank you so much. And Dr. Mohammed is going to actually agree with me that the whole agenda that we have started this very journey is become clearer now. We have some people that are actually passionate about leadership, passionate about driving issues in the community, in the society, to actually get it right. And that is very what is happening in Nigeria now. There are a lot of problems in Nigeria that so the previous presidents identified it, but they were unable to solve them because they need the scholastic capacity to actually achieve that. And this very current president that is leading the country now, he is a technocrat, and he has experienced different societal issues from companies to industry to engagement of and he is able to bring a lot of changes to the system. And that is where I realized something, that the leaders at times, they were not at fault, because power is different from the knowledge that they will use to actually make the changes in the society. So when we see somebody like Mr. Carole like this, that is romancing with the scholars and romancing with the issues, and he will bring to the central governance new things that they will be able to drive the society towards a positive change and development. And that is what I believe. Because I used to say that majority of the leaders, if we check very properly, they are not well informed. They are not well informed. They are just being in the authority just for the power. The knowledge of it, majority of them, from my findings, majority of them don't have the knowledge about it. And that is where I say, if we marry the whole issue of scholarship and leadership, we are going to get it right. So we have our global host here. She is actually not currently at our base, but she is joining us very silently, all the way from Germany, Dr. Renoka Takor. Dr. Renoka Takor has been the host of this very platform, and that's the reason why we have been able to organize so many programs. We have been able to welcome so many global scholars and leaders, because we have a modern network that we can always refer to. Thank you so much, Dr. Renoka Takor. I could see that very wonderful video of yours on Facebook, where you are dazzling with the GSFM members. So we look forward to that very wonderful outcome after your outing in Germany. So, Dr. Mohammed, from what Mr. Caroline has said, how has been your experience dealing with the public sector, where you are trying to address problems that need solutions? what has been your experience? Do you find it easy, or is there a structure that you are operating with?
Actually, if we talk about the challenge regarding the research funding, so in one way, because every supervisors have specific projects and they have the funding for that, and I think it's a sometimes it's a necessary requirements from the supervisor that if he has a fund, so he can request the students from the departments that they can invite from any country. So this is one thing that I especially in my case, I'm not facing any funding issues to do the research. Maybe, but I'm basically from Pakistan because I got the scholarship from for the Saudi Arabia. In Pakistan, we are specifically shortfall of such type of funding, then we are restricted and we are facing that challenge because if you have something in mind and you can put your idea in front of your boss or supervisors, so every time we are facing that we cannot do, we don't have the access, we don't have the funds. But here on the scholarship here in Saudi Arabia, we don't I even feel such type of funding issues to accomplish our goals and objectives. So in my case, if you are talking about the challenging environment, but however, we have the other in sometimes our budget is exceeded to accomplish the goal or objectives. So in that case, we can again back towards the main funding bodies, and sometimes we are getting these issues that you don't be able further to get the funds. So in that case, we are facing some challenging issues. But more or less, you can see that we are not getting. But sometime of you can see, especially in the COVID, everywhere in that years, we are facing the problem for the logistics. So sometimes the things are available, and sometimes we have to wait for 1 year, 1.5 years, and that scenario is it's a common problem for the whole world. I mean, in that. So really, we are getting the the funds challenging specifically, and the resources and the materials availability in the labs and for the other things.
Yes, thank you. Thank you so much for clarifying that very particular issue on funding and also the working environment and the kind of orientation comparing to some other countries. And is it very correct that the kind of research that the funding are available for, it is tailored towards national development, global development? What can you say about that very experience?
Yeah, if you're talking about the research, so specifically because we have three or four main funding bodies. One is the King Abdullah City Science and Technology, and the second is for the National Plan for Program for Science and Technology. So these the project firstly evaluated by itself, the organization, and after that they send to the expert of the field in the world. And definitely, this type of research is basically for the national plan project. So it is part of that, and even we are dealing with the food and agriculture sectors. So similarly, the other department, the College of Science and the Engineering, yes, definitely, we can say that 90% for the local and national plan projects and implementation in the future. If you see the construction side, so I think they have their own specific graduated and high-tech research, and then after that implementing towards the government projects. Yes, we can say that these type of research specifically funded for the national plan project.
Wonderful. Thank you so much for that very wonderful insight into the relationship between the working and also the link to the national development and also the global development. And let me also formally welcome Professor Ajayi, who is the national chair for the GSLSN in Nigeria and also co-chair on our Global Advisory Board. You are most welcome, sir. I know you are going to join.
Thank you so much, Dr. Saheed. Thank you, everybody that is in attendance. I sincerely appreciate everybody, and this is our network. I'm glad that we are making. You have my thing. Where to belong. You have a lot today, like we also have a lot today. And we are really proud of Dr. Saheed, who is our facilitator. Thank you so very much. And I know that we are going to have a very fruitful deliberation today. I wish you a very fruitful time. Thank you.
Yes, Prof. Sir. Dr. Mohammed is actually our contact for that very proposal we are putting together in Saudi Arabia. And I believe Dr. Mohammed is actually preparing to host the team if and when we win that very grant. Mr. Mohammed is going to prepare a grant for us in Saudi Arabia to actually hold a meeting. I believe so much in that. Prof, what do you think about this?
Yeah. Thank you so very much. I think I'm in very good support of it. Let me say thank you, our member in Saudi Arabia. Thank you so very much. Please let us all put everything possible together. And I want to assure you that winning this grant is a big plus to us. I'm glad seeing your face, and I know that you are seeing my face all the way from this end. Thank you very much. I appreciate you.
Thank you.
You are very welcome.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Dr. Professor Fahmy. Thank you very much. I'm delighted that I will be part of that, and I can assure that if I can do something for the members and for the organization, because sometimes you can do many things, but you are restricted by the rules and regulations. But in that case, we can do work hard and we can do something. So hope so every hardship and work leads to one step ahead of the success. So hope so, inshallah, we can achieve the even I can say the minimal target for the organization.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
That is
thank you.
Yes, and that is one of those very encouragement that is keeping us going. And let me say that as we were saying that the facilitators system crashed for over 3 weeks, some of our members have been putting heads together to get a laptop for us. And I think yes, somebody just said that okay, pending the time that we are going to get it done, okay, just get this one and get use it. So we are going to resolve this later and the rest like that. So people are actually showing support, showing enthusiasm and towards it. So let's get back to the discussion with our guest today, Mr. Caroline. The leadership. What do you think is your relationship along the career that you have chosen to be a voice of the people? Because that is what I'm seeing. Not only a voice for the women, but a voice for the people. What has been your encounter with the people in general? Because at times when you are fighting for a cause for the people, how well do they understand what you stand for? And how well are they cooperating to actually make the changes that you are actually seeing before you, that you are driving the whole cause in this manner?
Thank you, Doctor. Just like I was saying, during this time, all of it, I realized that the same problems I went through are the similar problems some people are meeting there. And the government, we have to be very sincere. The government, because of the mode of governance, they don't really understand people are going through a lot down there. So until we revive the methods of distribution, we revive the methods how the governance can, so that we meet these people down there. It's when we will really understand, as you are saying, with you were eating, there are people who are not eating there. So when you reach there, some of them must even be dislocated from their homes. They are putting in town. And when we talk now back to the young mothers, all these kids, remember when you were in school, I told you that I narrowly dropped because of lack of fee. But some Jamaican man told us, some of you don't study because of the mindset, which is the problem. Go there and first read, then other things will come. This is something that so many people doesn't know. Because even me, luck came because I kept on pulling, and they keep on advising me, do this, fall here, as then you keep on. So when you go down there, you realize that some of these people, because of the life they are leading, they have lost hope. So you tell them, no, why are you single? And how best can we revive this? You are single because of this. Okay, how can we help you? And now we're talking about empowerment. How can you get empowered? Because you cannot keep saying that you are doing and you're not doing. These people are not ready to listen to you. You give them, tell them, fine, let us do this thing together. Yes, you don't have, but as you go, tell them, fine, I have 100 bob. We can sit and share this. Then tomorrow, look for this and do, so that you ensure that you survive from this with your kids. And stop misgiving these kids wrong information about their fathers that they did not see. So as you keep on interacting with them, changing the mindset also of their kids, you realize that there's something, some hopes are coming. So you divide them from the principle that I've said is the problem of the government. They keep lying these people with false promises, and it's not because they want. Even in the sustainability, our leaders knows what is right, but they fear for their posts. This is the reality. Everyone knows what is right, but because they don't want to speak the truth and lose their posts, they will resorted to be vengers. It means that the full principle of being man of resources, man that fear greed, man that respect, they have lost all that. So today is for me and for my own country. So during this line, when we keep on moving, trying to mobilize them, I said back from Uganda, Tanzania, and Kenya, even what made me to be at the party level, we keep telling them, but how can we do this together? Yes, challenges are there for funds. Challenges are there, but how can we do it? So this one is what is narrowing us down to the community. Can we look for even a plot? Do something in this plot, maybe farming. You talk of these women. You teach them how to sew. Then you tell them, okay, this is where your survival is going to come from. Be in a group, open maybe some two charani machines, and get something from it. But agree that this is what is going to be the father and the mother for this kid. They listen. But if you are giving this person, I'm going to give you 100 without making this person understand how she is going to utilize even this money. So these are the challenges we are meeting. Now, the best we can do in the column of leadership, which our people in offices have failed to understand, is first of all to identify the problem. After identifying the problem, interact with these people, make them understand that the mindsets are also contributed. Yes, poverty is a crucial problem that we discuss, but you can even have the poverty of the brain before you talk of the poverty of the pocket. If your brain is poor, then you are poor. We need not to rely on these people. Let us get a base. We start from what we have. So you tell this person that, okay, we want you to go and learn computer. Do you expect this mother with that age to learn computer? Do you expect computer to help her? You are wrong. But if you tell her, now I want you, mom, to start selling tomato and silvery fish. And this tomato and silvery fish can also maybe cost 10,000. So this is what we are giving to you. And we agree that I'm not going to give it again. You have to, based on this, expand your business and educate your child. And on agreement, because you've resorted to be single or young mother, you don't add another child, so that we mature the lives of this one and we build good future. Back to you, sir.
Thank you so much for that very briefing. But I want to believe that Kenya is one of the countries in Africa that hosted many giant pro-development organizations like FAO, like I think is it yes, FAO secretariat is in Kenya and some other organization that I know. So what I want to actually drive at is that is it possible? I think Dr. Renuka will be listening to me, and like Professor Ajayi as well. Is it possible to actually look for some open proposals and grants that are dealing with the empowerment and poverty eradication? I think maybe we will look at that. Then we are going to discuss how, because I know this is not general. This is actually peculiar to some communities and peculiar to certain group of people. And yeah.
No, doctor, the truth is, the last summit we even had with Madame Dr. Renuka, Madame Monica, the community development SD confirmed. You see, the reality is the knowledge, we need to divide away from the old principle of the government to sponsor. This is wrong. The truth is, if you go deep there, people, the real facts are different with what they are giving on podium. That one, Madam Monique even confirmed to Madam Tori. Is that the reality? People are hungry down there. Let us stop using the statistic. It's like, no, that's not the reality. Our leaders are not doing what is right. Our people are suffering, and they're using this to their advantage. In that, after 5 years, they come and lie around. Let me give you 5,000. You vote me in, but the problem stands. Let us look for mechanism of resolving the problems so that we give a good eradication for 2030 agenda.
Okay, I think that's well understood. And okay, what is the situation of education in Kenya now? What can you say about it?
I will be very sincere. With the CBC that they have introduced, people are still confused. Let us be sincere. Because these people rushed. But because some of these things, the government are looking for funds and all that to suit their interests, but the people down there are not contented. Every system is still confused. So unless we revert back to vocational institute, which we are going to talk about skills, because with skills, you will learn what you know and you will survive from it, then we are good to go.
That is a very strong one. That's a very good. Do you have a team you are actually working with? Do you have a team that you are actually working with?
Yeah, currently I'm with Great Mothers, and also we are working with our party, National Freedom Party. Yeah. But the problem, just like I mentioned, that the problem is that we lack funds to put down the structures. Yes, we are moving, but at times because of short, then things are not working. Yeah.
So thank you so much, and I want to assure you that actually there is funding, because that is what I normally say. There is funding, but there is a way that the funding is going to come out, and that is when we define what we want to do, and we give the structure a kind of a function to perform, and we try to look at the little resources we have and put it together honestly. And when the implementation started, because people want to see results, that is what I preach everywhere I have been able to work. Likewise, the bigger organization that we're actually looking at, they are also looking towards certain funding mechanism or systems. Like when I was with the United Nations SDSN, I told them, you can't get funding if you don't show your track record and also evidences of your performance. You can't get funding. Nobody is going to fund anything that doesn't have evidence. And believe me, when they started following that very mechanism, the next meeting of the leadership meeting that we had in the New York, somebody just stood up among the crowd. Is one of the philanthropists there. I think is it Malaysia or Singapore? So I don't know. I can't remember. And the person donated almost $1 million to that very organization within that very discussion, because when you show your evidences of impasse and a narration that is having a pictorial, a kind of a documentary of a thing, I believe that many organizations are looking for where to put their money, but they need a kind of a platform that has a structure, that has a function, that has a defined pathways, and they are going to key in. So what I'm saying in essence is that I want to assure you that we will look at some of your projects and proposals and ideas together. And we are going to work with Dr. Rebecca Takor and some other strategic members that we have interest in it. And we are going to look at what we can do, because that is how I believe we can move. Like I told Dr. Rebecca Takor and some of our members that we have had series numbers of summits, conferences, engagement forums, and the likes like that. We can only keep on discussing ideas, pushing for positive sharing of experiences. But until when we gather together and formulate action that are implementable, that is when we can get out of this very mess. Without that, we'll just be deceiving ourselves, discussing around the table, around the clock, around the table, around the clock, around the table, around the clock. And these people, they don't really care. Few of the leaders actually want impact. Few of the leaders actually are serious about development. But what I believe is that the people are ready to actually key into what is right and embrace what is good. So once they see a platform that is genuinely coming up, that is how South Africa liberated themselves. That is how many countries of the world liberated themselves. I think one of our guests in the last month actually shared the experience of what happened in the United Arab Emirates. That it was an agenda to restructure and to re-engineer the development mechanism. And it is working fine. China did the same thing. Singapore did the same thing. Singapore just changed their leadership for over 50 years, since 1959 up to today. And the main business, they were serious about what they want to achieve as a people. So for me, it started with a group of people that want something to happen in a good way, and it's going to happen. That is what I have realized. The current president of Nigeria actually didn't get there in one day. The planning was over 30 years, following different leaders, following different systems, following different mechanisms. And the man was saying that, and evidence is how they have changed Lagos State. Lagos State has changed to be the third economy in the whole Africa. And Lagos State is a state within Nigeria. So if that can happen within a city, I think it just needs some group of people that actually understand what to do, and they are doing the right thing. And like, you have the like minds, and you are also working very hard to see that most of these things are achieved. And I want to assure you that the GSFN and GSLSN is always there to actually provide the needed intellectual capacity and the needed direction that is going to make it happen. Of course, many people are actually working in different dimensions, but when everything sums up together, it's going to make a betterment for our global community. So, Mr. Caroline, we appreciate your efforts, we appreciate your passion, and we are with you in an honest stand of what you stand for, empowering the people, and also making positive changes in the society. So I just make a comment because I can see that that is what is concerned. That's what is boiling in your mind. But we can assure you that yes, it happens, and with focus and dedication and persistence, one is going to get on the way. And with the group of people that you have been actually networking with, is going to happen. And yes, everything is going to work fine. Yes, let me go back to Dr. Mohammed again to see the last one before we now open the floor for our members in the community to also contribute to this very discussion today. We're actually welcoming our global guests to the community, and that's the reason why we are taking what their career path is, what are the issues they are actually try to solve for the global society. Dr. Mohammed, sir.
Thank you very much, Doctor.
Yes. What do you have? What do you have a kind of a motivation? What do you have for the new generation of scholars and leaders? What do you think is most important for them to actually focus on from your experience, sir?
Yeah, thank you very much. If we talk about the experience, based on my experience, So I can suggest for the new generation scholarship seekers and the leaders, so it's a different step story if we can avail or can adopt. So the number one is the learning, lifelong learning from the positive and the challenging environment. So it would be a great task for everyone. So they can get the new ways and the things, and the continuous education can resolve the issues. After that, if we go for the next step, then the adaptability of the new innovation ideas and the things, and we can move further with the world. That everyone continuously working on the new things, new ideas, and the things, so we can adopt these things for the progression and the successful leadership qualities. The second thing, if we focus, so is the communication skills. So communication skills in the form of writing and the speaking, and speaking in terms of talk about the stakeholders, talk about the global talent. So over there, maybe you can get 100% of your issues and their answers. So in that way, you can communicate very easily with your problems and resolve the issues. So if we can say what is the success behind, so I can divide that these three things. One is the learning, second is the growing, and at the end the giving up the things. Because if you have any knowledge, you can transfer it. So maybe the next person can get his success. So furthermore, I should mention here, because nobody can be birthed as a leader, so he should have a mentor. So the mentorship is depends. Sometime your mentor is more important, who polish you and giving a chance you to work in the market or in the community. So it depends the networking that you have behind you and along your sides. So it's more important that you can working on the networking and the other things. So continue with the society. The social responsibilities include engage in the activities that contribute the societal well, volunteer, mentors, and give feedback to the community. So your goals should be sustainable. So incorporate sustainable practices in the professional life. So in that case, the long-term impact for our actions that we can consider to achieve the goal. The next step, if I'm talking about, is about the resilience and the preservation. So the we can learn from our failures and setbacks. That's where we go for the resilience, and it should be the long-term success. So in that case, we should stay committed to our goals, even in the face of the difficulties. And if we can adopt these things and contribute to the society, so the sustainable practices should favor us to achieve the goal. Finally, if we go for the global perspective, so the global perspective, it should be the culture awareness, understanding the different cultures. So we are engaging in different international collaborators and stakeholders. In that way, we can achieve our goals and polish the activities. Furthermore, the personal development plan because if we have a specific goals and the things, so we should have to make the outlines of our production development plan, and then we go for step by step regular feedback for the improvement, and join the professional organization for the practices, and we can work out on that. So in that case, I can suggest that we can embrace these changes, seek knowledge, and lead with the integrity. So this could be the important step that we can adopt and can do the work for very precisely to achieve the targets. So hope so I can cover all the points and the things that we can at the moment for this scholarship and the leaderships for the future generation.
Thank you so very much for that very comprehensive and a very elaborate explanation, and also giving a direction on the perspective of what the new generation and next generation of scholars should be looking at. And I want to believe that Dr. Renka Thakur is actually ready, as he has been following this very discussion as we were actually making progress. You are looking fresh. What is happening in Germany, Ma?
Thank you. Thank you. The energy you all spread is coming into me. So thank you very much. Yes, I have been following the discussion, and it has been great to listen to all the perspectives. And what I think is, we are, and it is not new. It is not new for this time. It is always the fight between power and people. And that is still ongoing. And what is interesting that within the power, people, many those who have power are supporting the power in a sense of going from the oil industry and to alternatives. We find that because these people have their interests, they lobby these sectors and the industry, and that influences the government or those who are in power, and therefore it's not making any move. And again, if someone said that they are not listening to people, I would say they are listening to people, and therefore they are taking deliberate actions that they should be still remaining in power, and that is what they are doing. They are listening to us. They know that if they change anything, then they may lose the power. And so there is no more changes, or they do not want to encourage those changes. So that is a bit a thing. And what is people? People have been always listening and following leaders and so on, or those who are in power. And we have lost our negotiation negotiation skills. We have lost our communication skills, and also we have lost our, leadership. And I think we need to work on those things, that we should be able to present our ideas more politically than before. And that would maybe in a same language in what they understand. So that is what I think we need more. For example, like if we want to take the green energy path routes, then we need to understand the alternatives. And also we need to, of course, for example, like we know that the green technology is going to need very precious or, rare materials for it, like cobalt and other things, and a huge resource of like 80% of its resource lies in Africa. And what is happening there are plenty of mines, there are plenty of these things happening, but the advantage of that rare materials or the precious materials that is going to lead the green technology or green economy is going elsewhere. They are not fully paid, or they are not given return in the communities, and the communities still lie in the same situation, struggling for their food or their living. So there should be a negotiation process at the community level. And I think the mining industry or many other industry related to that, which are private owned companies who are still in power for their background and so on, should take the lead in understanding that this is where I'm going to get my living. My company is going to be based here and earn money. Then I should return back to the community. So that is what I think the basic need at local levels. We need to encourage community leaders, the negotiation powers, and the proper skills for managing those resources. We should have the skills and to understand what mechanism is needed to make our community safe from the environmental hazards and more constructive for the social inclusion and so on. And that is basic things we need to work on ground, connecting with people. So we need to have communication power, negotiation power, and leadership, I think, at the local level. And that should include the educational system, because still educational system has not changed itself. We are giving those stale lectures all the time, which we never bother about thinking that what green economy means, or what skills we will need for green economy, or what type of mechanisms we will need for green economy. Because that is a whole range of issues to be understood and to be imparted to the students. And what I look in the future, we want the students to be future managers, not only to solve one problem, but to be understanding what is the problem and how that can be solved, the basic process. When you go through a research degree, it is not about researching your subject at a micro level or micro level or whatever. It is the process you understand, that what is the research process, and that is the degree for. If you master the research process, then that process can be applied elsewhere, everywhere, and then you can continue to deliver a better result, which is science-based results. And that is what I think we need to impart to the students, that they should be able to understand, forecast what the problem might be with the action today, and be ready how to be evaluating that problem and solving it. So I will stop here. I think that is what I understand, and all the here perspectives given at different levels all stay there. They are very important, and they should also go back to the local leadership. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Anya. Before we release you, let me properly introduce Dr. Renata Thakor. As you are seeing her face glowing all the way from Germany, she is a founder of a GSFN, Global Sustainable Futures Network. And of course, she has registered that very organization in the UK, in the university where she works. And also, that's the reason why we are leveraging on that very platform to actually work on some grants and some proposals, so that we can have a base where we can refer to if any grant organization want to release a fund for development or sustainable solutions that we are working on. And this is Dr. Mohammed from Saudi Arabia. He's our focal coordinator for the proposal in Saudi Arabia. And he has been doing very wonderful work and fantastic responses from him. And he has also mentioned that he is 100% in support of the GSLSN, and whenever we raise an issue, that he is ready to actually contribute in any capacity that is available within his means. So, Dr. Renata Thakor, help us appreciate and welcome Dr. Mohammed. And I know Mr. Carola is actually part of GSFN. So you can say one or two words to Dr. Mohammed. Thank you.
Thank you very much. It's a great pleasure. I heard you as well. Yeah, I think what Saudi Arabia is doing is an extraordinary at the moment. They have taken a leadership on their own. They are doing plenty of different things, like carbon trading is on hot topic. Also, the renewable energy, the biggest solar power plant is being held, and the neon and many other things. So I have been following Saudi Arabia's development very closely, because I too work with EnviroWise in Saudi Arabia. And I think there's a lot of good things also been done. What they have done is, like, they give their employees a housing which is really sustainable housing, and they have developed a huge community, housing complexes for their employees, which is a great thing, which we never find in elsewhere in the world. I think they are doing lots of things, definitely. So it is a good resource. You would be a good resource to be here. I just want to make two announcements. One is, of course, I think Dr. Sahid has mentioned in the group that he has applied for one express of interest to one foundation, and congratulations for that, Dr. Sahid. I am working on one another this call just now going on, which is Science Mission for Sustainability call, and I invite you all to write down your organization and website to support the call. Third is something that we all want to work together, and then I have seen each and every one of you mention the problem of finance, and that is very true. But what I feel, that we must mobilize the finance at local level, because we don't want to increase the debt. We don't want to increase the debt. That should be our overarching line, our overarching principle. That no, because wherever the national or anywhere, wherever the banks and other things are coming in play, the debt is increasing, even if it is at national level or at some organizational level. It comes down to individuals who are involved in it. So do not increase our personal debt. And that is my overarching aim, and therefore I'm not going for any grant that I have to give back, or I have to put an interest, or I'm in debt. And that is what I am still struggling to find a model. And what I feel, that there is a model there, and there are some cooperatives working within their own models. And I think we should be doing some sort of sharing models or cooperative models. For example, Uber has emerged as a very strong model. Airbnb has emerged as a very strong model. And that is where I want, say, for example, Saudi Arabia government or any organization wants to be part of it, that should be an equity between us and them to be a part of it. So that is where I want to move, and also call upon that do not increase your personal debts. We are already struggling with the personal debt and the poverty and the unemployment that has brought into the world because of that debt at an organizational level. There should be a mobilization of resources, and not so if we are mobilizing the resources, we have to make sure that they are mobilized in a way that it does not they are just again and just for everyone. So that is where we should be going. So I will stop here. If you have any project, we want to work within that local organizations, local areas, communities, to bring people in board to become more powerful to deploy their project. Thank you.
Thank you so much, and that has been a powerful insight and also a very strong advice for each and every advocate and also actors in sustainability. And yes, the model is very important, and that is what we are creating on GSLSN. Because from my own experience, I don't see any student going for a loan if we have the opportunity of scholarship, fellowship around the world. And we have hosts that are looking for people to actually host to come and gain research experience. For me, that is a very beautiful, open, and very transparent model that everybody can key into. But because we are aware of it, that is the reason why we are calling on the new generation scholars and the next generation scholars not to go for depths, not to sell their properties because they want to have access to the scholarship and leadership systems. And that has been working so very fine. And for the first batch that we have actually received last month that we did screening for, all of them are actually looking forward to that. And we have been seeing some opportunities here and there that they want to key into. And we continue to do that. And that is very strong advice. And thank you so much, Ma, for that very beautiful comments. We always enjoy you joining us and also giving a platform that we can all call our host. So I open the interaction to the members now, but let me call upon first our chair at the national level here, Professor Femi Ajayi. I think Dr. Reloka Tako is here, Dr. Mohammed is here, Mr. Caroline is here. What do you have to say for all the discussion that has been going on in the last few minutes?
Thank you, Dr. Saheed. Sincerely, I come to realize that we have a... Oh, are you hearing me?
Yes, we can hear you, sir.
Are you hearing me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay. Thank you. All of these discussions that have been ongoing is an indication that we are still in the right path. We are on the right path. I'm glad that Dr. Mohammed in Saudi Arabia and our global chair and everyone is of the opinion that grounds to cover. And what are these grounds? Like our global chair, is it this lady from Germany or whatever, was saying that we need to make our moves and ensure that we cover political grounds too, because we are working towards policy and sustainable education development, which we cannot do alone. We still need these policy makers, we need these politicians, we need this government, we need to work with them. And we are going to be able to do this if we continue to interact and we share experience. And we know, because we have our own cultural background here, that is really guiding some of our activities. I want to say that every of the contribution thus far, that how we are going to bring in gender and all the likes, the young coming leaders, so forth. It's an indication of, and we have to do it holistically. And that is the beauty of society. It's not only focusing on one aspect. And we are happy that education is part of it. And that's our target in our proposal. So our colleague from Saudi Arabia has promised, and I want to hold on to that. And we want to also assure everybody in attendance at this meeting that we also promise our commitment and dedication. We are not going to leave any stone unturned. We still continue to work hard. And with our facilitator, Dr. Zaid, I am very sure that the coordination is fantastic. I just want to encourage you not to be discouraged. Let us keep pushing. We are going to get it. We are going to get there. And I hope that everything that we propose as per our registration and recognition will come to pass in a short while. As a member of the chair of the committee here in this part of the world, I want to assure you that we will not be tired until we get our goal sorted. Thank you so very much, and I want to appreciate everybody.
Thank you so much. That's a powerful motivation, and that is most especially thanking Dr. Okatakor. Thank you so much. Yes, we have another powerful member and a partner here, Mr. Michael Wajuzi. And that very invite that you want to, was it USA? Please talk to us. I can see that the Dr. Okatakor was actually writing a very wonderful commendation on your post this morning.
Dr. Said.
Yes.
How are you, sir?
I'm fine. I'm fine.
Yes, I'm following the proceedings. I'm in the saloon.
All right.
And it's a little bit busy, but I'm following.
Yeah.
I'm following the proceedings, sir.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Michael
Thank you
is
so
all
much.
over.
Congratulations. Congratulations.
Michael is all over.
Thank you, Dr. Reduka. Yes, please.
So, yes, Engineer Olatunde, you missed the session last week, but I was wondering maybe there are some functional activities that actually maybe cover up. And how are you doing? What do you see to this very discussion today? We are welcoming our powerful new members from Saudi Arabia and also from Kenya.
Thank you, Doctor. Sorry, I missed the section last week. It was due to some other, unforeseen circumstances beyond control. I want to appreciate all the global leaders. They have been wonderful. The section has been awesome this morning. I want to also commend the facilitator, a brother, a friend, Dr. Adebisi Said. The coordination has been awesome. I do hope that everything that we are putting on the table here, by the grace of God, we be able to achieve our goals by God's grace. I want to thank the global leader, national global leader that has just spoken here, and for the initiative as well. The section has been awesome. Thank you, Doctor.
Thank you so much. And yes, we have another wonderful person that has joined us since we started. She actually started with us. That's Anoluwapo Akinyemi. What has been your takeaway from this session? Anoluwapo, are you there? Okay, we have Azizat Fatomi. What has been your experience learned from this very session? Azizat Fatomi, are you there? Okay, Anisat, what has been your experience gained from this very session? Okay, we have our the new generation community secretary at the global level. That is Mr. Christian Ejimadu. You say, Mr. Ejimadu, congratulations for your new baby. Yeah, congratulations for your new baby. And you have a mother in the UK. That's Dr. Okatakor. Maybe you should visit him when she returns back to UK. Mr. Christian, how are you doing?
I'm okay. I'm all right. Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
And thank you for the congratulatory message. Yeah, thank you so much. So far, so good. Of course, I did not join from the beginning of this course. Let me use that word. But from the point I joined to this moment, I can say I will give 100% kudos. The facilitators, the participants across the globe have done a great job. And I wish we have that strength to continue so that we can eat the bullseyes. Thank you for the knowledge impacted, and thank you for where we are heading to.
The low-hanging fruit of opportunities. Don't let us put bodies on ourselves further. What are your takes? What are your thinking around this? Thank you.
Thank you, Doctor. I believe that we understand that poverty might be the crucial in our areas in SACCO and its role from generations to generation, more so for the single young mothers. But there might be solutions that we can create to bring these people not only in Kenya, but in the entire world. And I was looking at them from a perspective of how can we do it via education and accessing to the education for both, since all these people, some of them did not attend, but we can also bring the class that they can suit to better their opportunities. Also, under economical empowerment, I believe we can offer programs that generate, can lead them to financial literacy and leading to entrepreneur. I believe as well that under social support, through the support and networks, these young single mothers, for example, can create verses and awareness and networks that offers counseling among each other. This will check how to create method and heading to move them. Advocacy on policy changes. These are areas that if we foster so much, these people will love to transform their lives. And I believe empowering of young single mothers in conclusion and their children by providing support and resources, opportunities for the growth, this will surely help them thrive to reach their potential. This is the long run, in long run, can reduce the rate of poverty in Africa by more than 20%. Back to the.
Thank you so much for that very beautiful summary of your agenda and also your focus. And I can assure you that they are beautiful ideas and they are very wonderful one. And that is a very good closing remarks. And let me ask Dr. Nagatakor for the closing remarks about this very session, because we are winding down now.
Thank you very much. I believe, of course, there is hope, but still we need all to work together for plenty of, as I mentioned, how to communicate properly and how to buy in people for the change that we need. And I think the changes we need are different at local level, and so local leadership must be there. We must induce local leadership and encourage and empower the support system at locally. That is what I think, local and of course associated with the global issues. So that is where we need to work very hard, and I think that's the way forward. Thank you.
Thank you so much, and we are winding down now. We are closing for today's session, and this is the 21st session in this year. We have never missed a single Saturday, and we are going into the half a year of this very session, and we want that very next month sessions to be very electrifying, like something that we can say, okay, we are popping up the actions and we are actually taking over the agenda that we have set. And on this very note, I want to thank Dr. Nagatakor. As it is now a year that we connected. I remember it was around March or April. It was around April last year. And I wrote that after 6 months, you gave me an award. The Platinum Award that I won in December. And exactly where it is a year, we wrote a proposal that you are hosting. So I don't know what is going to happen in the next 6 months because I am counting 6 months on the timeline. So thank you so much. Thank you so much. And to everybody that have been part of this very, very wonderful platform, Professor Femi Ajayi, you have been with us since we started 2020, I think, 2020, and we have met since 2015 was it not in Imo State? That is the Imo State, I think. That was when we actually met. And thank you so much. You have been very wonderful.
University of Nigeria, Nsukka.
Yes, Nsukka. Yes, Nsukka. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. And, to everybody, I want to say a very big thank you. And I want to call on one of our members to actually wrap it up with the closing appreciation, showing gratitude. That's the Ms. Anu Oluwapo. Are you there?
Yes, sir.
Yes, please. Vote of thanks, and let's wrap up this very session. Thank you.
All right, sir. Okay, so I want to say a very big thank you to our speakers for this particular session. Dr. Mohammed, Mr. Caroline, I want to say thank you to our global co-chairs, Dr. Renuka Tako, Professor Femi Ajayi. I want to say thank you to every leader, every scholar, every member on this particular platform that has made this session a successful one. I believe that we are growing by the day, and I believe that we can actually make this network is a great one and an impactful one for ourselves and to the community at large. Thank you, everyone. Have a wonderful weekend.
Thank you so much. Until the next time when we meet.